What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new tactic video, and today we have got Diego Simeone's 4-4-2. This tactic nearly picked up an 100% win rate with Atletico Madrid, and trust me, if you like 4-4-2s, you need to go and give it a go. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So first up, I need to show you the league table with Madrid, because we actually obviously play 38 games. We win 37 of those games, draw 0, and lose only 1 game, that being against Real Madrid, who, to their credit, did finish quite a fair few points behind, but also did have a great season. So we nearly achieved the perfect Spanish season. Now, the one thing that I love about this tactic is this. The defensive side of this system is absolutely world class. You're going to defend really well and go out and score enough goals. I do not know what that is about. Go and score enough goals to go and get the job done. The only downside to this tactic, if you see it as a downside, is possession. You're not going to have tons of it because we are very much a tactic that absorbs the pressure, soaks up the pressure, wins the ball back, and then we fly forward and we go and get our goals. As you can see, that is literally how this played out. So defensively, we are absolutely incredible. Goal scoring wise, we're incredible. We're having tons of shots, the most points per game. But even if you look at the pass completion, we are not going to be in there, because if there's one thing that we're going to do, that is take a lot of risks. So if you want to see it as a negative, the only negative would be high possession stats. But if you want to defend well and go and score goals, this is the tactic for you, especially if you like a 4-4-2. 4.32 goals a game, 0.7 conceded. A pass completion, it's not going to be the highest of the high because I let my players take a lot of risks, and to be honest, that results in quite a lot of shots per game, and that is the Simeone way. You're not really going to see this elegant short pass and play from Diego Simeone, so if you're after possession, it might not be for you, but I can tell you something. This tactic suits pretty much any team. It's a 4-4-2. Everyone can play that formation, and it does get results. And that is what I will say. We also go on to win the Spanish Cup in one of the most boring games I've ever played. This is the other side of the tactic that really does well. I actually went into this final with the defensive version, went in quite negative, and got exactly what I wanted. A low-scoring game which we clutch up on penalties. The Madrid way. But on the other side of things, you can go into games with that attacking version as well and have a little bit of fun, as I did purely to showcase for you. The only reason I really went in on that variant was to get some goals for the video, and this is what happened, you know. We are playing a weak team, and again, the perfect time to go in and do a little bit of a humiliation match against a small team in the league, and we actually win this game 6-0, and I want to show you the goals so you can see where the goals come from. They come from taking passing risks in behind. We use the wide areas, we bring it back in centrally. We have got 2 forward players, of course, which both operate in different ways but offer something big to the game. And at the end of the day, you put all of this together, a very good back line, good wing back and a full back, good wide players, a good front two that do a mixture of the game each. It results in this. It results in a lot of goals being scored, but also versatility. You can go into games, attack, attack, attack. You can go in quite balanced, or you can do what I did in that Madrid final and actually go in quite defensive and almost ask to be dominated in the game, and that's exactly what happened. But we do win that cup, and this game is literally a 360 from that. We win by what, 6-0? Yeah, that's what I like to see. Then I'm going to go over and test with Newcastle. Now, I'll be honest with you, the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup didn't go as planned, but the big overachievement is that Premier League win, and we are going to see Isaac and Gordon, the players you'd expect to do the most, did really turn up. Even Trippier played really well in this system, the former Atletico Madrid man, and this tactic genuinely does work across the globe, guys. We've got it tested, obviously, in Spain. We're going to have it tested in Italy in the last team of the video, but the big one, the Premier League, which I imagine probably 80% of my audience probably have a save in, it does do really, really well, and you can play that 4-4-2 formation, because a lot of people think you're stuck with the 4-3-3, the 4-2-3-1. You're really not. You can make this work. Over 130 goals, a good amount of shots. On this occasion, we are not going to have the fewest conceded. We are going to have the 3rd most, so I mean, at the end of the day, Arsenal just had a really good, solid defensive season. When it comes to the clean sheets, we're only going to be 3 behind, so very, very close, but technically Arsenal do edge us in terms of stats, and I'm not going to hide that from you, because one thing that does back me up is the data hub. We just kept it under a goal conceded, above 3.5 goals a game, a good amount of shots, the pass completion roughly around the same, and attacker win ratio not too bad either. And this is what I mean, scores a high number of goals per 90 minutes compared to the average. So we are performing above the average teams around us, and at the end of the day, it is a very, very strong Newcastle season. And lastly, for the powerhouse test, I am going to take it to Inter Milan, because I was curious to see what would happen, because they have got two very good forward players in Lautaro and, of course, Thuram, and I thought, let's just go and see exactly what happens, and this happened. An Italian Super Cup win 2-0 over Juve, an Italian Cup 5-1 over Juve, a Champions League win 4-0 over FC Porto, and just like Madrid, we only lose one game out of 38, and our right-back scored a ridiculous amount of goals. And this is what can happen when you let your right back push up and truly get involved. He is going to get stuck in, he is going to score goals, and I will be honest, I played the entire season on the attacking variant with this team, so I'm not saying if you play the default version or definitely the defensive one, your right back's going to do the same, and not everyone's a Denzel Dumfries who can cut in and strike the ball, but he had a whale of a time. Good amount of clean sheets as a team as well, hardly any conceded, a good amount of shots, a good amount of goals. Once again, we're not going to focus on possession, we're down in 7th place. What I am focused on is not winning 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 trophies in one season, all while going and achieving above 4.5 goals a game, under half a goal a game conceded, over 25 shots, and even the pass completion's gone up. That is a tactic that is now performed flawlessly in Italy, very well in Spain, and very well in England. Big result. Off to Wembley for that Champions League final, and we are going to start off with a set piece. And again, when we test my tactics, I do use my set pieces, so make sure you have got them, because they do chip in with the goals, and I imagine some of the goals from Dumfries would have been gained from those set pieces, as you are probably, there you go, you're going to see. So they're not all from open play, but with these set pieces, we do specialise in extracting goals from the back line, so make sure you are going to get them, because they do result in a lot of goals being scored, as you're going to see pretty much 2 set piece goals at the start of this game. But yeah, we'll end with another set piece. I mean, sometimes set pieces win your cup finals. What can I say? But now over to your favourite part of the video. If you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and if you do enjoy rebuilds, make sure you take a quick second to come over to Daily Josh. We put up a rebuild once every 2 days, so if you're subbed to both channels, you get a video every single day. But to make this tactic, all you want to do is create your own style and load in a 4-4-2, not diamond, a normal 4-4-2. We'll build from there. Then the first big change you want to do is go down to the bottom left and go from balance to positive. Now, I am not saying Simeone plays attack and football, I am saying the opposite of that, but in this game, to get a 4-4-2 really ticking, when you actually want to go and score goals as well, you need to have it at least positive in my past experience to actually get some goals out of it, so that is why we are going to use that today. The goalkeeper is going to be a sweeper keeper, simply on defend. Again, Jan Oblak, a lot of people can describe him as a goalkeeper. Again, I have no shame in saying a lot of my audience are here for results. They're here for tactics to have results, and I want to know right now in the comments, would you like to see a realism version of every single tactic, where we completely abandon part of the meta, forget the results, and focus 100% on the replica? Because I've got 2 audiences, okay? I've got my meta audience, which is a lot of my audience, and some realism audience, and I'm thinking every tactic basically needs 2 videos, so let me know what you think in the comments. So if you're full realism, I'll go with a goalkeeper. If you're a little bit more about what works in the game, a sweeper keeper on defend. When it comes to the 2 centre-backs, we are going to operate with 2 default ball-playing defenders. Again, by default, these players will hold their position and take more risks. I don't really want them doing anything else on top of that. When it comes to the right-back, we are going to use a full-back, but not on support. He is going to be set to attack, and these are going to be the instructions. We are going to tell him, firstly, to cross at the far post, alongside of running wide, staying wide, and also closing down more. If your question is, Josh, where is close down more? You need to clean slate your tactic so that instruction, as in this instruction, actually even becomes available. So make sure you have got that selected. The left back is going to be another attacking option, but this time it is going to be a wing back on attack, and he is also going to be told to cross at the far post, alongside of running wide, staying wide, and also more often on the press. If you haven't got it but by now, these players are responsible big time for providing the width in this tactic. Going over to the wide players, we are going to operate with 2 inverted wingers. Both of them are going to be set to support, and both of them are going to share the same 2 instructions. Can you guess what they are? Have a little guess. Let's get into it. Get forward and also roam from possession. Now, this is very important these players are on these instructions. Firstly, get forwards without this instruction, they simply don't get involved in the game enough. And roaming is very important because it just makes them come up with different sort of areas of the pitch, take up different positions, and also, naturally, this role is needed as an inverted winger because I need them to be cutting in so our fullback and wingback can push on an overlap. So I wouldn't actually say you can change any of this tactic, in my opinion, in terms of the player roles. I do want to quickly say at this part of the video, if you are interested in getting all of these wonderful perks, you can come over and check out the Patreon. We've got over 5,300 people. There is currently 20% off. You get all of my year's tactics. That is them on mobile, on console. It's about 200 and something tactics. If you include the variants, that's 600 tactic files. So make sure you come and get involved. We've got endless rebuilds on there as well, one-on-one tactical help, and so much more. So make sure you come on over. And also, we now are offering Patreon exclusive tactics of your favourite managers. So make sure you come and get stuck in. But going over to the 2 in midfield, we are going to use a DLP on support on the right hand side. Again, this player is nothing, let's just say without any disrespect, he's nothing special, but he will sit deep and he will, well, play make as you want to do. And that is exactly all I require of him. Nothing too special, a quite basic role in the team. And to partner him, we are going to use a central midfield player on automatic, and he is going to be told to get forwards alongside of closing down and also tackling harder. Again, very similar to the inverted wingers. You don't have get further forwards on. Your midfield doesn't contribute enough. You need to have it on. Going up front, we are going to actually have a deep line forward on the right. Funny enough, literally as it says on the tin, on support on the default. And next to him, we are going to have a pressing forward simply on attack, and he's going to have 1 instruction just to offer a little bit more in terms of positioning. We are going to have him set to roam from position, and that's going to be your player roles. Team instructions, we're going to go down to fairly narrow, really compress that team. We're going to pass into the space, overlap right, overlap left, the tempo all the way up, and the passing 1 off all the way up to slightly more direct. And we are simply going to go with mixed crosses. So not too many instructions, keeping it pretty basic. In transition, we're going to leave this blank, and then counter, and simply take short goal kicks. Meaning on this occasion, we can go to the centre-backs, the full-backs, the wingers, the playmakers. We've got so many people that are in an area to receive the ball. Why not keep the option open? And lastly, out of possession, we are going to play with the mid-block, with the higher defensive line, trap outside when it comes to the pressing trap, get stuck in, prevent, and simply much more often when it comes to that trigger press. Now, one thing you are going to need is the attacking version and the defensive version, actually, because this tactic does require to be a bit different sometimes. And this technically is a 4-2-4 on paper, but out of possession, these always drop quite deep, so it is a 4-4-2 actually in the game. The goalkeeper remains the same, the ball players remain the same, the fullback on the right and on the left remain the same, the DLP remains the same, the CM remains the same, but what we have done here is obviously push both of the inverted wingers up, both on get forwards and roam. The press and forward remains the same, but we introduce an advanced forward purely for a little bit more goal outlet. So that's the reason why we have done that. And because we have made key changes in the player roles and in the team instructions, we've actually kept it a positive because I didn't really feel like we needed to go attacking. And that is because we've added things such as be more expressive, hit early crosses, really direct ways of playing football. We still keep all of this good stuff on, by the way, so the tempo remains the same, the passing directness remains the same, the overlapping, there's no reason to come off. We're just adding these 2 things and the player role changes before anything else you see that has changed will make the difference. But to help that difference, of course, the double up here is going to help, playing out quickly, taking those short goal kicks. But most importantly, as you can probably imagine, we can now actually push this up to a high press, a much higher defensive line, max out the trigger press, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in and maintain that trap outside sort of trap. So what I'm going to say here is the difference is absolutely incredible. This is the default version, this is the attacking version. It offers you so much more going forward, but defending your games is just as important, guys, and this is pretty much the opposite, you know. The default here, nice and balanced. The attacking, we push up. Defensive, we come down. The DMs drop. So the goalkeeper, the ball players remains the same. The fullback is now a simple defend. The wingback is now a simple defend. The DM on the left, a simple defend. The ball winner and field player on support, simply on the default. Nothing special. The inverted wingers, I have gone down a path of making this defensive version more of a hold-on sort of style, so I've actually removed get forwards on. Now, if you're playing this with the ambition of still wanting to score a fair amount of goals, I would have get forwards on, but this is purely designed to sit quite deep, be quite frustrating, you know, play with quite a low tempo and drop back, time waste, play for set pieces, you know, the bit of the dark arts of football. The deep lying forward does remain the same, as does the pressing forward. We have now dropped to cautious, so that is quite the big sort of, not downgrade, but downplaying it a little bit to cautious. The attack and width does go to fairly narrow, pass into the space. Now, this is where we are going to introduce the dark arts. Time wasting all the way up. Play for set pieces. If you've not got mine by now, what are you doing? Make sure you go and get them, because they will bag you 10 to 20 goals a season, and the amount I scored playing this version of the tactic, purely from set pieces, is absolutely mental. The passing is going to remain the same, but the tempo does go down by 1. In transition, we're going to regroup. I'm still going to keep the counter alive, but this time we're going to slow the pace down and take short goal kicks. And lastly, out of possession, we're going to keep the mid block, but this time a standard line. Trap outside, get stuck in, prevent, and we are going to keep that trigger press, so we still are quite an aggressive team in some aspects of the game. And that is going to give you boys not 1, not 2, but 3 versions of Diego Simone's Madrid. Now, as I said before, if you have enjoyed, by the way, please do leave a like and subscribe. If there's any tactics from this year that I've done where you think, Josh, I know you've got meta viewers, but I think you could have done this a bit more realistic, leave a comment and we'll make sure we go and revisit them. But hopefully you understand, as a creator, I have to give up my viewers what they want. I've got to do it. And a lot of them are here purely for results, but I am more than happy to have an Ange tactic that is designed to get results in the game that is more of a inspired tactic, and then 100% realism where maybe it doesn't do as well, but you are going to have 100% the same. If you do want that, please give me some indication, a comment, a like, a DM, whatever it is, and I'll see you in the next one.